few minutes early today. We are doing a building stream where we're going to be working on the base some more. Actually, to start out, we are going to be tearing down this wall, and we are going to be working to expand the base a fair bit. We are going to be adding a little bit more room out this way, and we are going to be working on getting it to where we can have a water pen over here. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first thing that I needed to do, unfortunately this doesn't snap, but the first thing I needed to do is make a bigger gate. For our upcoming stream, we are going to be going to the Green Cave, and we are planning on doing this as a caravan. We've also been working on getting some of the bigger animals, and going hand in hand with that, we need to be able to get the bigger animals out of the yard. And because we plan on using platform saddles, you cannot just ball them up and take them with you. So we need an access point. So I had to go to the castle, the CKRF castles. Let's see, we have fieldstone, or we have cut stone. I think the cut stone looks a little better. But we had to go to the castles table, the masonry table, to make this gate, because the villager structures that we were using do not have a gate big enough to accommodate. But this gate will allow for things like Brontos and the really big guys. Let's see, auto close only. We do need this unlocked. And then we are going to need to add a stairway and a rail over there. And then on the inside, we are going to want to expand this over one further, so that the animals can get in easily and safely. And speaking of the upcoming stream where we are going to caravan out to the Green Cave and run the Green Cave, I set this guy up. I was playing with the trike saddle, which I found is extremely limited in what it is able to do, unfortunately. You have very few structures that you can put on it. You can only build one wall height below the saddle, but I was able to set this up with enough chairs for everyone. We've got a little room with a box, a bed, a smithy, and a forge. And I had to leave this opening because you can place walls too high, but when you try to place the ceiling, it says that it's too far above the saddle. So again, this was really limited, and this is the maximum number of structures you can have on the saddle, which is why there's no doors or windows. That is the most that could go on that thing. So until we move up to, say, a Bronto or something bigger, that should work. Won't offer much protection if we get attacked, but that's what other animals are for. Now we're going to come in here. I started crafting a bunch of a bunch of foundations and walls and such a little bit before the stream started. They are still crafting, unfortunately. But we will let those do their thing. Now, I do realize it was kind of silly to go ahead and place the gate because we are going to be expanding out. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and pull this down for now. We are going to have to change the direction that these walls face. Let's see if I can do this without breaking all the stairs. Yeah, I'll just break the rail instead. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick these up. And then we're going to work on moving this out. I'm going to actually come to this side so I don't accidentally destroy the garden in the process. Such things are very easy to accidentally do. And I'll go ahead and leave that platform the way it is. Now, no real easy way to do this. I'm going to need to move this. I'm going to have to use some of the foundations to expand the grid out, and then we will build out, and then we will remove the extra foundations. I like to keep everything on a grid if possible. It makes it easier when you're doing piping and electrical, and just I feel like it looks a little nicer. Everybody has their own way of doing that though. Let's go ahead and grab these and go back out there. Now I'm making both triangle foundations and normal foundations because I would like to be able to do turns if needed. Let's go ahead and work this out. This will have to elevate. I'm thinking that's a good... Let's see. Do we want it to come out here so it blocks? That is the question. I think I'm going to go ahead and expand it a little bit further this way. We'll go ahead and put it like this. Now, I don't care too much that it's down in the ground. The foundations and the walls and everything will still work just fine with that. Let's go ahead and put some of these in. Now, I'm going to want the gate to be facing that way, towards the inland rather than facing out towards there. So let's go ahead and build this out just a little bit more. Now, as I recall, it was 4 of these foundations wide. The CKF foundations are bigger than the normal foundations. So they take up less room. And let's go ahead and get this framed in here. Now, first things first, I want to make it so it's as straight as possible. And then I'm going to go into K mode, which just lets me look around at more of a distance. Let's line this up like that. It does stick up a little bit in the back of these, but that will not harm anything. Nothing can get under that. And there we go. Let's go ahead and set this to auto close only, unlock. Okay. And then I need to put our little note here. letting people know that there is, in fact, an artifact inside, or not artifact, a explorer note. Can't think today. Explorer note inside, gate unlocked. That way, if anybody wants to go in there, they are free to, but it's set to auto close, so nobody can lead to us getting a whole mess in here and getting things killed. The server is pretty decent, but you will always end up with some random players sometimes that just are up to no good. Kind of hard to avoid that, unfortunately. Now we're going to work this way. I'm not too concerned about how high it is at the moment. We'll worry about that when we're making it look nicer. Now we want some room, and then we want to build a water pen. Now the water pen needs to be set up in a couple different ways. We're gonna do this. Oh, I hate when it does that. We need a shallow water area, and we need it to also reach into the deep water. And the reason this is because there are obviously the water creatures like the basilosaurs and megalodons. There's the deep water creatures, the big guys like the Tusoteuthis that are going to need much deeper water. And then there are the amphibious creatures that you need some shallow water. Hey Reese, how's it going? The shallow water creatures are what I have this little pen for. It was just kind of a temporary little breeding area because we get megs and jellyfish out here all the time. And they will kill everything if given the chance. Actually, you can see the jellyfish and some manta rays right over there. So I'm going to go grab those, some more of those triangle foundations. They should be done crafting, or mostly done by now. Let's see. Yeah, mostly done. It's enough for what we need. Now this extra space will also be nice because it'll give us more room for things like the Brontos and guys that just kind of don't fit in anywhere else. Now this... Interesting, these ones don't like to stack. Okay, well, one thing we can do for that... These stack just fine. So we can kind of cheat this a little bit. And we can use that to make it stack. Let's go ahead and pick those back up. Yeah, we lost a couple babies that are, I think they had died the night before. I had had some babies die, but they were caught in the soul balls. All the ones that had been out were doing just fine. Thank you for catching that, by the way. I was able to go get some more food for them a little bit later in the morning. Now, we are going to have to use this. I think I'm just going to take it to the shelf out here. I think that'll be big enough for what we need. This is kind of going to be a little too shallow for things like Tusos. We can probably... Oh, that's an alpha meg. Let's hope he stays over there. We can probably manage, if we do get them, get Tusos or Mozas. But that's going to be a little ways off. Uh-oh. So if you stack, it does not want to place next to it. Interesting. Now, I would like to take this up. Oh, never mind. I guess we don't need to go any further that way. Now, it's really hard building in the coral like this because it's hard to tell what's actually considered to be ground and what isn't. Some of these things are basically ground and other spots are not. They just are decorations. Let me see. I believe, yes, that is the edge there. Perfect. Now, I'm going to go ahead and keep this straight down here. We'll just have this go ahead and angle in and go. The water pen will be a lot easier to manage that way. I think I'm going to go ahead and make... yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make a behemoth gate for the water pen. Well, trying to decide if we even need that. The odds of us getting a Plesio or Mosasaur platform in the near future are probably not very high. We'll just do it right the first time. We have the materials, might as well do it. Now, I did some massive harvesting just before the video of metal. The CKF castle structures are unique in they take lots of stone and they take raw metal, which can make it a little bit interesting to try and build with. If you do not have an Anki, it gets really difficult. And then for some reason, a lot of the doors and gates with the castles structures take ingots. Okay, so there's the gate, there's the gateway. Let's come out here and get this placed. Now we do have to be careful with that alpha meg out there. Once this is enclosed, we should be fine. But this is being made out of stone tier structures, which means that an alpha can damage it. I will probably be wanting to convert these later, but this is what I was prepared to make today. Oops. Now, for the moment, we're not going to be regularly keeping creatures. We're going to have to go get a half wall for this one. We're not going to be regularly storing creatures in the water pen. Oh, I'm going to start killing myself. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's more of going to be a place them to breed them and then put them away for now. So we shouldn't have too much trouble with attracting megs and such. Now, building something like a gate underwater is always a bit of a trying process because you are always moving in the water. So I'm not going to put too much time and effort on trying to get it perfectly straight like I did with the other one, just because that's somewhat implausible. Okay, so now we need to go get some more walls. And then that will be our water pen. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up to clean this up a little bit. Because this will go like that. Shouldn't need that extra piece. And then I'm going to go ahead and clean up some of these foundations because I know they're still going to be crafting the walls. Clean up some of these extra foundations we used. They're nice guides, but they are unnecessary to maintain. And then we are going to need the stairs on this side. We do not need the stairs on the other side now, just because it is flush with the dirt. But this will help the animals get in and out much easier. Also, I did make one change to the garden since the last video. I added some glass roofs, which bring the greenhouse effect up to 300%. That will make the crops grow much faster and produce much more. Let's see where we are. Walls are mostly crafted. Nice. Let's go ahead and put those foundations away. And then let's go ahead and finish up in the water pen, and then we'll work our way back up to the gate. I certainly can get a Discord up and running. I do have a personal Discord server. I can see about getting that connected up. I will see about working on that this weekend, actually. Oh, there we go. Now, fortunately, that guy is not the alpha. But I do need to go get some half walls, that's right. That was the thing we were missing. Because the foundations are a half wall with these. It makes an interesting difference between the base vanilla structures and the CKF structures, is the sizing is much different, which in many ways is a relief. Let's see, we need the half height wall. Let's go ahead and make 50 of them. If we have extras, that's not a big deal. There we go. Just need to wait for a few of those to craft. And then the other thing that we're going to be working on after the fencing is complete is seeing about getting the inn built above the tavern. That's more of a decorative structure. And other than that, I'm trying to think of what else we might need around the base. We have a space for breeding, we have a kitchen. I do still need to decorate the tavern. We have our crafting room. We're going to have a nice big yard and a water pen. And a garden. I don't know. I can't really think of anything else that we need right now. Eventually, we'll want to have a place that we can teleport, set up a teleportation system and things like that. I may have to pull out my... You know what? We're going to deal with this guy now because he's just going to cause us problems. Therizinosaurs are really nice because they hit like Rexes. They only do slightly less damage than a Rex, but they hit so much faster. And they harvest meat, which is absolutely wonderful. Especially for a plant eater. Now let's see if we can avoid drawing the attention of those jellyfish. That is something we need to see about catching later. With the krakens... Yeah, Aries had found that the other day and was trying to figure out why there was a random stairway to nothing. But yeah, we need to see about catching some of the jellyfish and the coelacanth. An interesting thing with the Kraken's better dinos, if we leave them in the pen, it works. It's much nicer to just be able to put them in the soul terminal, but they will passively produce biotoxin, and the coelacanth produce all sorts of random goodies. It's just kind of dragging my feet on taming those jellyfish. It is not a very fun process. It is definitely worth it, though. I am at the level now to make shock darts. I really need to pay attention to my oxygen more. Okay. Now I'm just doing this so that it is just above the surface. Doesn't really need to be any higher than that. The odds of any other creatures coming and messing with us are very low. Okay, let's go ahead and break this. I try to be careful whenever I'm building around rocks to make sure that I break any that are in the way of a gate or a fence line or a structure. Because we may not break it, but another player coming by could harvest it and cause all sorts of problems. Okay, and I did notice apparently these should have had a half wall added to them. And this is when the Alpha Meg notices me and comes out of nowhere. I mean, that has never happened before. I don't know what you're talking about. There we go. Now we have a water pen made. Again, a little bit later, I think we will convert that to the keeps structures, which are metal tier, just so we don't have to worry about things like the alphas. A nice thing as far as that goes, though, it will be fairly easy because you can just overwrite the structures that are there. It does break the old structures, but it will do what we need it to. Okay, so these are all at that height, which means this is going to need a half wall. This is going to need a half wall, and we're going to need more half walls. Okay. Now we're gonna have to decide on a transition over here from the water to the normal fence line. We want the normal fence line. We want to make sure it's tall enough so we don't end up with a random Bronto or, God forbid, a Giga or Rex ends up out here somehow. It's unlikely, but this is ARK, and ARK will be ARK. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong eventually. Let's see. I think I'm gonna actually have to make some more walls here. So I think what I'm gonna do over here is I am going to use the sloped, or the gables, to make this look a little nicer coming down. I don't have any gables on me, so we'll have to go get those. That way it just kind of slopes down into the water pen. Okay, we ran out of walls. So we're going to need 3 gables over there, and then some more, it looks like 1 more half wall, and a bunch more walls. So I've got the gables made. We've got a few more walls. Let's get another set of those crafting. And let's get this finished up over here. Now the gables will give this a nice little slope down. Like that. So it doesn't look quite as bad. And then let's go ahead and... We're actually going to use some more gables on this, because each step up we're going to want to go ahead and add a step to. And that is because the terrain around us is going up. If we maintain the same size, we are going to end up with no fence in some parts. Which means I should have grabbed the rest of those. So I'm just going to grab the rest of the gables and not worry about it. Sorry, my cats were doing something. Trying to figure out what they're doing behind me. I don't normally make a habit of walking into the walls like that. Okay, let's get this going. Actually, I think that might have brought it to the level, because we weren't doing the half steps there. Okay, that should have been turned. Let's make sure that turns proper. That's the one downside to them having added the walls snapping to each other. It is really nice when building sometimes, but it leads to some really weird things happening sometimes as well. Okay, let's get this on. And there we go. Just like that, we have a water pen now. And we have our fence line. Now I am going to add to the water pen a little bridge across, because I have learned the hard way many times, animals in this game, if something aggroes in the water, we are going to end up with our land creatures. Morning, Reese. Happy to see you on. I'm working on setting up a little bit of a barricade out here for the animals, because they will be stupid and run into the water and actually drown themselves if you're not careful. Generally, if they're not on follow, they will float, but sometimes they will sink straight to the bottom. Okay, so for that, we're going to need the sloped... Where is it? Not the half wall, the sloped rails. There we are. And then I am going to want to grab the normal villager rails rather than the low ones to help kind of provide a little bit of a blockade there. So let's make it some more of the half rails. There we are. Hey. Now, obviously, with the walkway here, the animals can still get out there, but it's just to kind of help prevent it as much as possible. Provide a little bit of a buffer at least. And it makes a nice decorative look out into the water pen as well. Let's see, I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Also, I don't know if you saw, Reese, there's some kibbles in the fridge. Or in the icebox. Okay, so let's get these out there. And this, I think, is the last real thing we're going to need over there. Now, we are going to want to have a nanny nearby. I have this nanny set up, and her range will actually reach halfway through the water pen. We are going to want to move that, though, because if any of the pets end up on the outside, they will not get touched. So I'm going to have to run some more electricity a little bit closer. Once we can get to the bosses and unlock the tech generator, it'll be so much nicer as far as electricity goes. Let's come over here and get some electrical pipes or cables. Now, if you've never used them, the N+, S+, and superstructures have these flexible cables, and they allow you to attach different wiring networks without having to use these obnoxious intersections. And the internal wirings are my favorite to use. Unfortunately, they will not snap to the CKF structures. So I have had to use the normal. the normal cables for this. However, they did add a really nice feature that the electrical cables can be hidden. There's actually electrical cables all over here. I'm going to go ahead and unhide them so that I can see what I'm working with. But as you can see, these are extremely ugly. But because we're able to hide them, we don't have to look at them. Now, I'm thinking we might make a decorative walk around to the water pen. I think that might look really nice. And in doing that, I'm going to want to make some more of the half walls, or half rails. Quarter rails, low rails. That's what they're called. I can't talk straight. Okay, let me grab some more wires. And then we're going to extend these out. That might be problematic. Okay, they'll fit in there. Now the best way to make these work. How's it look from up there? Let's see. I think right here is where we're going to want to turn it. Let's go ahead and get this situated a bit. Doesn't look like there's going to be a nice, easy way to mesh this up very well. So I think the best bet... Let's see. Best way to do this... I think we're just going to have to kind of jerry-rig this one a little bit. I need some more stairs. Oh, we have some made. So I think what we're going to do here is just kind of make it work as well as possible. So what we can do here is extend these foundations out a little bit. Like that. Let's go ahead and pick these ones up. And then we can put something decorative over here, like an artifact later. Something that looks nice. And there we go. That makes a nice little path down here from the main part of the base. And then we're going to add some decorative rails around. And then we can add some nice little decorations on the path, maybe some planter boxes, maybe some chairs and tables. Let's go get some more rails. And then, actually, let's go ahead and finish the electricity really fast. Now, the way these cables work, if you're going to use the flexible cables, you want to start the next spot, and then you sit and you can adjust this to look how you want, and you just connect it up like that. And this will allow you to put them out of the way. Let it follow non-straight paths. This will also allow us to put some lighting out here, which will be nice. And the other really good thing with this is this will allow for vertical movement as well. Generally, you have to fight with the inclined pipes, and it can get to be pretty messy. There we go. And that was probably one of the best things S Plus ever came up with that was then used on superstructures and N Plus. Oops. Let's hide that. Is they made it, is the making it so you could hide these cables. Because these, no matter what you do, are just ugly. Back when I used to play on official servers, back before these mods really came out, it was always a fight to try to burrow the wires and pipes inside of the structures, or depending on what you were playing on, sometimes inside of the ground. But again, all we have to do is come over here to the generator and hide wires. And you can't even tell that they're all over the place. Now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead. I like her in the garden, but we can get a gardener out here later. I am going to pick up the nanny and move her out to the water pen so that she actually will be doing her job out here. We'll set her up over here like a little lifeguard. And you can see she's powered. Always change the food amount to 50. Gives you a lot more protection from the animals dying. And she reaches now everywhere that we need her to, all the way up to where the other nanny reaches. Now this I have partly in the water. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. Yeah. Indecisive as always. Let's go ahead and move this up here. And what I have in here are frogs. The frogs are kind of interesting because they are completely amphibious. You have to have them in the water to breed. And more than that, the babies have to be in the water as well. I made the mistake once of throwing a baby frog out without water and didn't get a death message, didn't get anything, and the baby was just gone. It never appeared. Okay, so this really, really, really does not want to go where I want it to. So we are going to set it up on this side. I prefer the modern mesh. There's also the primitive, looks like a vault. Basic looks like the normal soul terminal. I love reading and I love libraries, so this, the modern, or the, this mesh appeals to me a lot more. And there we go. Now we just need those few more low rails. And this side will be done other than decorating. Now, I think I'm going to set up next week's stream to be just purely decorating the base, making it look nicer and playing with some of the other structures. Hopefully, while we're in the cave, maybe we can find some chibis. Oh, I had made a bunch. And this server has this Ecos Chibi display. Or actually, I think it might be with the N+. Either way, it's a chibi display, and you can build these little chibi terrariums. And I'll show you with my chibi as a Kentrosaur. You put them in there, and they wiggle around and move, and it'll show the colors that they are. You can change the biome that they show. There's the desert, there's the ice, there's a mushroom biome, and the forest. Now, obviously, I want to keep this guy on me. I did have a Megalania chibi in there, but Gar decided he wanted to use it. So we are waiting for more chibis. Now, supposedly, if you kill shinies, there's a chance, the enraged shinies, there's a chance of getting chibis. I do not know how true that is. The only enraged shiny I have seen show up on the map so far was a Leopleurodon in the water. And we do not have the means to deal with water animals yet. Which is definitely something we will be having to work on soon. One of the caves, which is necessary for the bosses, is actually very close to the base, just off our coast, and it is underwater. So I am changing these rails to match the rest of the base. I like design for the best. So we want to make this uniform looks nicer. There we go. I don't think now it won't let me do the... Even though it's the same number of rail, or number of variants, it will not let me automatically do the sloped when I'm set up to do the normal ones. Okay, let's make sure. Yeah, there's a few up here that didn't get done. There we go. And then there's these two up here. And then I like to do a walkway of rails around the perimeter. It just makes these look a little nicer. I'm gonna have to see if there's a way to make it sloped. Like a gable of sorts. I think I saw a rail gable. Let's see, we're gonna need probably 30 of those. And yes, there is a scaffold wall. I think that's gonna be too big though. I'm gonna go ahead and make 2 of those and we will see what they look like. I'm imagining those are gonna be full size though, and if they are, that's probably not gonna work for what we wanted. There's also this. Let's see what that looks like as well. Now, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and spend my levels. Trying to get that health up so we are ready for the bosses. Interesting. Was actually able to unlock the tech hover sail. Cannot make it because it needs to be crafted at a replicator and it requires element. There's also this propagator that I am extremely interested in us playing with in the future. This has the ability to breed and mutate babies from inside the structure itself. Okay, let's grab those. Almost forgot my rails. Now let's see what this looks like. So we can do that. Or we can do that. That is not going to look good at all. This might be okay. Let's see what options we have here. There's that structure variant. That one. More open. Mm-hmm. It's a little strange, but you know what? I think we're going to go with that. I think it's going to look better than the steps down without it. And we'll go ahead and set that to frame 4 as well. I will need to go make some more of those. We will do that in just a moment. Let's go ahead and place the rest of these. Now, I don't think we need to carry these into the water. So I think we're going to go ahead and leave it like that. Let's go ahead and put stairs down. So if you are up there, you can go ahead and... Oh, had it for a second there. You can go ahead and walk down or walk up. Let's go ahead and put these. Now these are not really necessary, but just kind of a little decorative add-on. There we go. Okay, so we're going to need 2 more of those inverted arches. Let's go get those crafted really fast. Yes, we do have some superior kibble in there. It's the purple kibble. I've also been running the soul terminal, so we are getting lots of eggs for kibble, so I will see in just a second what I can whip up if we can make some more. There we go. There is the outer wall. There is the water pen and our little decorative walkway. And now I'm going to pause for just a second and see what I can do as far as kibbles really fast. Now, I have a soul terminal that is running, that is making us lots of eggs. You know what? I am going to take some of that back out. And let's go ahead and cook up some more cooked meat since there's no babies growing right now. Let's convert 5,000 of that. Let's convert 2,000 of the primes. And then we need to add more wood because that is not going to be enough. Oh, awesome. Are you close to the base? I can maybe drop it off for you. And we have 10 superior kibble. Okay, let's get... Do you know what the approximate coordinates are? Or actually, I think I might be able to use a tracker. Let's see, I think we're supposed to have a tracker. No, that's for transponders. Oh my goodness, that's There's a real-time strategy mode on the Omni tool that allows you to see everything from the sky. Oh, that is weird. It allows you to select dinos, and that is unusual. How the heck do you get out of this thing? Okay, I just need to figure out how you get out of this tracker, or this real-time strategy thing. There we go. Middle mouse button. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. And I am able to make 3 more superior kibble. I'm putting them in the bin right now. Oh, 4 more. Actually, I should be able to make way more than that. Not a problem. I will get some more made as soon as possible. We also have simple kibble, and we have some of the yellow kibble as well. Oh, goes away. There we go. Okay, now the next big challenge. I'm gonna try to do this fairly quickly because we are already over an hour. Is to build up that um, tavern really fast. We are definitely gonna need some more ceilings. Actually, you know what? It would probably be better to do roofs and make it look a little nicer. Okay. Now let's come on in here. Fortunately, with the CKF structures, you cannot do this with the base game structures. You only need to have one ceiling access for stairs. If you try to do that with the base game structures, you will get stuck. Okay, so we're going to make this a little hallway. And then let's go ahead and open that up. Looks like we are not going to be able to fully enclose the back of that. Now, not the best view in the world, but I am going to add a little window on that side. I'm going to add a little window on this side. This is obviously a discount tavern. You get what you pay for. So you don't get the best views in the world from this tavern, unfortunately. Let's add the doors in. And then we're going to go ahead and make this room short and long. And the other one's going to have a little nook. So when you walk around, this one has a little nook in it. And a giant rock in the corner. And let's see. Let's get this built up. You know what? I think we're going to do what we did last time and go ahead and leave this a flat-topped building. I think that will actually look a little bit nicer on this one. Just because the way the structure is. Let's go ahead and put some windows looking over the balcony. Let's get this put on. Let's make the balcony. And then we are going to need to craft some more ceilings. Let's get these rails placed. These are definitely not safety rails. And then we need a bunch more ceilings. And a couple windows to fill in those gaps. Now the windows don't only look nice, but they will help prevent mishaps with the ichthyornises that like to spawn in our base. It's nothing quite as fun as getting stuck in a building with the stealer birds. Oh, we're gonna need some sloped rails here. Let's get that switched over. And then get these made. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the ceilings I do have up. And let's go get the other ones really quick. Now we're not going to worry too much that those aren't turned properly, because we can easily turn them with the model selector on the Omni tool, or well, on the gun. The Omni tool is not the right term. Okay. So we're going to take this, it's the multi-tool, and we're going to change these to floor rotation 2. Now, if they are already turned correctly, that will turn them wrong. But if they need turned, it will fix your problem really, really quickly. It saves all the hassle of having to fight with them. Let's finish this up. And now we have the start of the tavern, or the inn, on top of the tavern. We've got 2 rooms. We've got a nice little path up. We have the tavern, which is extremely empty right now, except for the little kitchen area where we have our necessities being made. We've got beer crafting, we've got jerky crafting. This is where we make our kibble and veggie cakes when we can finally get some honey. And the different brews. This is where we can cook our food. Dyes are over here. And our little ice box back here. And so we've managed so far to make a breeding room, our electric shed, our taming trap and walls. We have our inn and tavern started. We have a little area cut out to decorate for the Explorer note. We have a couple little planter boxes that we need to decorate. We have this nice big open yard, which is for the most part going to stay open. What'd you get? And then we have a little garden. We have our composting area. We have our outer fence. Oh my gosh, there is an absolutely beautiful macaw out here. I cannot resist. I don't care what level it is. But yeah, I'm going to finish taming that. And then we have our water breeding area and baby raising pen. Awesome. I do have a macaw in the yard that I'm trying to tame as well. So if it's a predator. No, don't fly over there. Oh, please don't be a butt face. But that being said, I'm going to save the decorating for the next video. In that we will work on making the tavern look nicer. Got it. Okay, all safe. We will work on setting up some decorations on the pathways out here. Oh my god, he found a little Rex. Oh, awesome. That is a great level, too, for the trike. 42 in melee, 45 health, too. I have to see that guy roar. He is too cute. His colors are gorgeous, too. But the next video, we will do all the decorating and add the tables and food to the tavern, the beds for the inn. And on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a day. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, tomorrow, Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m., we are going to be running the Green Cave by Caravan. We're going to be taking Mr. Caravan Trike over there out to do the run. And Reese has turned into a turkey. And on Sunday, we will be doing our normal random game at 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. Have a great day, and if you want to support the channel, hit follow. Thanks for watching.